This will be the last, probably, trial of danganronpa2. It's gonna be interesting, and probably really damn confusing, and full of pointless mini-games, as usual. Anyway, let's get on with it. This elevator ride, it'll be the last time for this too, right? I hope so.
Well?
Not sure about things after we're finished. Damn, this elevator feels empty as shit. But nice triangle formation.
You are right.
More importantly, let's focus on a class trial before us. So...
Damn it.
The killer managed to kill someone like Nagito. There's no way this is gonna go smoothly. I mean, I still can't believe one of us were able to do that. Nagito was problematic in many ways, but he was also a valuable asset during the trials. You're right. In fact, during the funhouse ordeal, we were completely dependent on him. But even if he's gone, the ones to survive need to stand and fight. We must fight. And then the door slowly opened. The bright light was greeting us. Is that the light of hope, or the light of despair? Let's do... Oh! Nice remote.
Well now!
Now that the chatterbox Nagito is gone... Oh, there's only 6 of you left.
Shut the hell up!
Just fucking stop this already.
Hey!
This is it, right? This is the last class trial, right?
Yep.
Yep, serious? So you gotta show some enthusiasm and make sure you give it your all.
All right!
Didn't I tell you? You said it. This is the end.
Now then!
Let's get this trial started.
Viva killing!
This is the last class trial. Let's show enthusiasm and kill each other. Thanks, man. This is the 5th class trial. According to Monokuma, this is also the last class trial. The curtain is about to rise. Nagito Komedia, the ultimate lucky student. When I first met him, I thought he was a nice guy. He came across as very sociable. But his true nature had held such a momentous thought process that was nothing like his outward appearance. He said he believed in hope more than anything else. Maybe screenshot, maybe not. Maybe screenshot, maybe not. He said he was yearning for powerful hope that can overcome any despair. He said he would help despair just to prove that hope would never lose to despair. And he said he'd become a stepping stone for hope. Every time it's a better screenshot. His way of thinking was completely screwed up. But there were also times he saved us too. Someone like him was killed. This was the end of him. And I have no idea at all who did it, but... there's no way we can end this without knowing. We will be consumed by despair. That's why we absolutely have to find out. All alone in that panel, aren't you? The person who finished off Nagito. The person who murdered Nagito. That is 2 in here. In order to return from this despair alive, we need to reach the truth. And if Monokuma says this is really the last class trial, then that's all the more reason we need to do this. And so, this life-threatening trial balloon of hope and despair, the last one, has begun. The beginning of the end, guys. Well, this is more like the middle of the end. Or like the second, third. I think I already have all the skills I can even use, so... all rise, motherfuckers.
Now then, let's begin with a simple... During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is, and vote for who done it.
Hey, Minomi just here this time.
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit?
Damn. Okay, fine. Not even a quip.
One more time!
Another punch.
Jeez! How about this one? This will be my final blow! It's useless.
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
Finally.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monomi. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake.
Which means the killer is probably a traitor.
Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
Monomi did.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid! There's no way in hell I'm the traitor!
Someone here is sus.
Now,
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or that's it. Yeah, that's a good first subject. Torture wounds.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
Damn.
If
Okay.
so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
No, I don't think he's it.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Okay, well, come on. That particularly. Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No. Were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place?
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
Okay, so that
No,
did
that's
work.
wrong.
Yeah, they wouldn't have taped him if they couldn't get information. That sounds...
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared.
God damn, man, that didn't take you long.
I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Stupid. What did I do? Rebuttal showdown, eh? Come
Like
on.
you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how first the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him,
Yeah, it's Spear Gunga.
Damn it!
like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how at first the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb. Then, after they killed him,
Nope, that didn't do it.
crap!
Hey, it didn't have to
Pay
cheat though.
attention. This is how first the killer tortured Nagito and got information. Then, after they killed him,
Okay, so I just can't advance past that.
like you said, Nagito, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut,
Wait. About the duct tape. Yeah, so... Yeah. Duct tape itself. Okay.
How is he supposed to...
Pay attention! This first, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about Ken after they killed him.
This is before.
Allow me to cut through those words!
Because the blood. Yeah.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
Are you in elementary school or something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds. Which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Who did it?
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
Yes.
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse. Yeah, and right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back. Which means it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this. Some kind of setup? Like what? I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect. Alrighty then, let's think about this based on what Miss...
Damn right it is!
Yay. Reason for the fire, huh? That's right. We need to clear that up first. Torture wound, bone rope, solder knife, duct tape, monocle plushie, panels. The panels on the lighter sound like the,
The direct cause of the fire was... the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
I don't know.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter. Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
No.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Well, no sound waves, eh?
Crap!
I know it's the panels that set this thing up.
The direct cause of the oil lighter found
The killer used something, lit the curtain on fire.
some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that, it can stand up
If they tipped over, it could have ignited.
some way. Maybe they used
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound wave.
Or perhaps opening the door caused.
It did, in fact.
I agree with that. I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
You're obsessed, aren't you?
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second, and from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
The music. Oh,
I see!
You're talking about the MP3 player, right?
Yepperoonies.
That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because I was so used to bright sunlight outside. When that darkness allowed hymnal played throughout the warehouse at full volume. Hey, you guys hear something? Yeah, it's really damn loud. Is Nagito like listening to this depressing crap? No, I'm not talking the music. As if on cue, it suddenly started.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine. I opened slowly. No, that's not the only problem. Seriously, it'll be fine. And with those words, Akane brushed off everyone's warnings and slowly opened the door to the warehouse. Clatter, clatter, clatter. Not opening? Is there something blocking the door? I can barely open it. I knew! It's a trap! Seriously, just stop it, okay? Did I tell you it'd be fine? I just gotta use a little more force. What happened to opening it slowly? Akane ignored the protests and with a mighty kick, the door flew open.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If that door is the only entrance to the warehouse, I see. So the problem Chiaki's talking about is... the killer couldn't have left.
I see!
Yeah.
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Huh?
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
The person set the domino effect inside the warehouse. There's only one person who could have done that. Nagito himself.
This is my answer! What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too.
Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid.
It would have been a very damn hard and unnecessary.
His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
If so, he is hard as rock.
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss?
Yay.
That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Like you said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something. Burned rope and survival knife, huh?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth?
Wait,
Or if you use your front tail?
who the fuck has a tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Oh, wait. If our assumption that Nagito committed suicide is correct, Nagito should tie himself up.
To actually tie up your own arm.
Okay, well that
No,
works.
that's wrong!
That's what I just thought I already used that.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were.
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up.
Yeah, but
Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
he has a knife through his hands.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
Proof that the rope burnt on Nagito's right arm is, oh yeah, his right sleeve.
I see.
Does it clean? I don't know how.
Take
Don't
a
know
close
how
look
at all.
at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Knife.
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
I guess you're a capitalist.
That's definitely wrong.
Exactly.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
A bent.
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito.
Thank you.
I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know.
That's exactly what I'm
It's
thinking.
impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand. Ah, that much is obvious.
Hajime, you tricked me! Give me back that Benjamin!
Not only did you try to charge me, now she wants the money back.
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest!
A way to stab yourself in the right hand using only... Yeah, there's an answer. You let it fall or something like that, I don't know. The good,
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If you threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall,
It's wrong?
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
if you threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
there we go.
I agree with that.
I don't know how the flushing did it, because then the wound is much bigger, but still.
The life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach.
And why it was bloody?
He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem.
Yes.
The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear.
Not a blood
right?
that good doesn't make sense.
If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
That's badass.
There is a limit to his constitution. If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Don't you fucking dare.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Please, shut up.
Say it once.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
Like
Yeah.
she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
Ooh.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Monomi sassing me.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. So this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Oh no. A killer among us.
Of course, that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
Of course.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible. I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know, huh?
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together.
Yay, friendship.
That's how. We made it this far up till now.
Everyone, working together.
She's right. We've made it through several ordeals up till now by doing that. Then even now.
Alright, let's do this.
No, please don't make me do the stupid ass. Okay, good. It's not has to do with the good of this. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay then.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
Very
When
touching.
the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand,
But his left hand was also tied up.
and that rules out his left hand.
There we go.
No, that's wrong!
I didn't even have to listen to the entire thing this time.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit.
Imagination.
If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
What was Nagito's? Open, gripping something.
I see!
It's pretty obvious.
When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
No!
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear!
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied-up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
The thought. That's the problem.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
It was the, cord, obviously.
I see!
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh?
Yes, perish any...
And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
Well, that would be awesome, no.
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki? I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Huh? Nagito was grabbing his cord extensively from the butt of his spear with his left hand. But from there, how would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear?
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
Hell yeah.
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time. What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up and the spear stabbed through his stomach. So, it's just before that. That's it, could it be? Say the spear, and the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attachment. Put those together and think about it. I should be able to figure it out. Where the spear was, yeah. Let's do this. No! No! This shit. Okay, that's a troll. Above Nagito, of course. I have no clue what that is, but I don't like it. This shit is shit. Oh! Question 2, I guess. A ceiling girder. Well, sprinklers were too, but mostly it's the girder. Nice try. Look at me, being all safe and responsible. Pretty in-depth game for a PS Vita game, eh? Okay. Question 3, yeah? What item connects both the spear and the ceiling girder, eh? The rope. This cord, I mean. Dumb. Dumb. There we go. Smart.
It's all coming together!
I'm a smart ass.
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
That would be awesome.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support, he hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide? Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Yeah, he's pretty hot,
Not
isn't
just
he?
that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear?
He could have been an awesome Batman, like...
That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end.
Damn.
Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth too?
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy! Why would he do that to himself?
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Jeez, now I'm starting to feel a little sympathetic towards him. How stupid of me. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice. The mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he died. That's the form his malice took. I'd forgotten all about it up until now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right?
Dang. I'll reveal what happens next time, because, I'm sorry, this is really inopportune. As usual. Anyway, see you next time, and, bye.